Welcome to the Desire to Dream podcast. I'm your host, Lo Wilder. The vision of this podcast is to provide tools on how to become successful in your finances, business, leadership development, and much more. A little bit about me: I grew up in the hood, homeless at the age of 14. I made a choice not to become a product of my environment. And today, I am a successful businessman, community leader, and inspirational speaker. It is my desire to encourage and empower you to unlock your greatness. So tune in and enjoy the show. And welcome back to another episode of the Desire to Dream podcast. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope you're subscribing and liking the podcast and all of these episodes, man. Today, I'm going to have a fire podcast, man. We're going to be talking about marketing. We're going to be talking about business, entrepreneurship, everything. Like, we just gonna get into it, man. I got my homeboy from Hampton University, Ellaway Amiker, man. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you selected me. It really is truly an honor.
Oh, bro, come on, man. You've been killing it too, man. I've been watching, seeing the success online. And so, without further ado, man, just kind of get into it, man, and tell people a little bit about your story, growing up in the A, right? You from Atlanta. Talk about your, born and raised, man. So talk about your background, man, and how you ended up in Hampton and what you got going on.
Yeah, man. So I started at humble beginnings. My mom and dad. My dad's name Ellaway, mom Francina. I'm the oldest of three siblings. Francesca and Frangelica.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been together for a long time. I started out playing sports. Baseball, swimming, more unconventional sports for us, but
I
excelled in those. Started out just trying to figure out what my way in life. I started out actually as a biology major with marine biology because I loved animals, but I soon realized I had a knack for business. So I actually was getting scholarships to play baseball at Auburn and Miami, and I committed to go to Auburn. But my math teacher in 12th grade was like, "Hey, maybe check out HBCU." I'm like, "Well, I know what that is. My parents went to South Carolina State, But what is that? What is that?
So why HBCU?
Yeah, why that? I was always told, you go to UGA, you go to some school out west, but HBCU, So I go to a college fair, like in the mall, that kind of thing, and I get approved on the spot. I'm like, all right, cool. So I already committed to Auburn, ready to play baseball. I'm like, all right, I'm staying in the quad, got my car, I'm good to go. I'm be a black dude playing baseball at this major school. They just came up a national championship a couple years prior. So I'm like, I'm going to out here.
Right.
But ended up going to visit Hampton, and I fell in love instantly. The culture was different. Well, the culture was kind of the same because I went to MLK High School in Atlanta, Georgia, Decatur, Georgia. And, it just felt like, what? I got my whole life to be a minority. Let me get 4 more years of being a majority. And so that quote honestly was the reason why I decided to go to Hampton.
Wow.
So I go to Hampton, I learned to network. I think the fact that we went to school in a smaller city, because, I'm from Atlanta, I could go to Morehouse, no problem.
Right.
Could have gone to Howard, been in DC,
Yeah, city boy.
But going to Hampton, I believe, made you work on your networking skills, because if you rose to be, kind of somebody at Hampton, it was because of your merits. Because we don't have a city to be a promoter in. I can't be that dude at the lounge. You know what I mean? I have to be that person. You come to my house, it's a personal relationship you're building with people over time. And those relationships carried on into real life.
Right.
And so that worked out. But then we graduated during the recession. And see, that was the issue. That was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember sitting at home in my parents' basement, because of course, back then, everybody was, our big brothers, big sisters would graduate. They got $60,000, $75,000. I'm like, and I remember specifically walking through the Harbors, which is a apartment complex across the
street from the school. Word.
So I'm walking
Harbors, the part where the parties were at.
Absolutely. And I remember my boy was like, "Man, I ain't taking an offer less than 75,000." I said, "Let's try 80." I get out of school, man. I make $19,000 my first year. 19,000.
Yeah. And this is what, 08, 09? What year?
This 08 going in 09.
Yeah. So you graduated on time then?
No, actually, I graduated in December. So I didn't graduate on time.
Okay.
And it wasn't necessarily that, I was, goofing off. It's just, I think I failed Spanish, and then I failed like another class. And I had to retake those in summertime. So you do it in summer, December.
Facts.
Done good.
Yeah. I ain't gonna talk about myself, man. I was on the 6-year plan, but it is what it is.
But listen, here's the thing. Like, you got to think though. A person that graduates in 3 years and a person that graduates in 6, after the time that we spent out of school, where y'all at? Same level.
Same level. That's it.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not about how you start, it's how you finish.
That's right.
That's really it.
Right.
So but that really was eye-opening for me. I was like, man, I really, really, I'm out here doing commission-based jobs. I was doing door-to-door sales for AT&T. Uverse was the new cable they were coming up with. And I was door-to-door sales. I mean, if you get a sale, you get $100. If you don't get nothing, try again tomorrow.
Right.
I did that for maybe a year or two. But see, that's the thing. My first real job, I didn't have the entrepreneurial bug yet. Like I was still like, let's get a job. Let's try and figure this out.
Yeah.
My first job came at Enterprise, right? I was an Enterprise car rental, and that was a cool experience. I met people that were my age. I learned about business, learned about P&L sheets, profits and losses, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I eventually left them. I worked a lot of jobs. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I left them to become a district manager for racetrack. Now that seems like a very big jump from being an enterprise and not being in management to district manager, but it worked out. It had a little hookup.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, though, a month after I got hired, I got fired.
Wow.
And what's crazy, and I learned this lesson after it happened, 2 weeks into it, because I had a Toyota 2x4 pickup truck, stick shift, my granddaddy's thing.
Right.
And I went to the Infinity dealership. This is how long ago this was. I wanted an Infinity G35 coupe. Went there, said, when I get my first check, I'll be back, y'all. 2 weeks later, I get fired. And I thought to myself, I said, dog, if you had bought this car, you would be up under it so quick that you would cry.
Right.
But let's think about why you even tried to get it. It was for girls. That was it. I didn't need that car to do anything else other than that. So I learned I need to not make, crazy decisions to appease other people or to appease my parents so that other people feel like, hey, he's doing all these things. Like, nah, that's not. So
like a perception of success. I got the car, I look like I got money, so I must have money.
That's what I wanted, but that would be absolutely not true. Once you get into the meat and potatoes, you realize very quickly he ain't got it like that.
Right.
And that's a dumb way to live. But then, during my time at Enterprise, though, I was actually on a vacation to DR with my girl at the time. And my iPod died, my first generation iPad died, and I read the magazine that was in front of me, right? So I'm looking at these things, I'm thinking about business, I'm starting to see this money in these streets, with the recession's kind of ending a little bit. Like, let's see.
What year are you talking? What year are we talking around the time?
So this might be 2010, 11.
Okay.
Quick story about Enterprise, and I'll move on from that. I worked at the airport here in Atlanta, and we would get these VIP platinum people, whatever. And I got this one guy, and I wanted to show him because it said VIP, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna sell him up to something nice in the front. But we walked past, and he said, no, take me to the Fords. I said, dude, you make like $250 a year. Why you want a Ford?
Right.
He said, I own stock in them. I said, so like, what do you mean? Now again, recession was happening, so I bought Ford stock for $1. It is now $10 a share. I put $1 million when it was at $1.
Wow.
So quick, you can do the math.
Yeah. Quick 10 mil.
So I 10 mil. Now I say that to say I learned this lesson during during this particular financial crisis, because as you know, every 10 years or so, 10 to 12 years, we go through some sort of financial crisis. Right. Think about it. The 99 dot-com bubble. The 80s, it was something else. 2008, housing crisis. 2020, wrong. Right. So 10 to 12 years, something happens. I said, he profited off of pain. Keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Said, okay, I'm gonna take that in mind. Keep that gym with me, right? We keep going. So where was I? We at racetrack, did that. But at Enterprise, I was on that flight. I looked at the magazine. I saw something called co-working, right? So think WeWork, because WeWork was one of the only ones in the game. They only had 2 locations. Then they ended up having like 100 and something, but they only had 2 at the time. So I said, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. But how do I even get the money to do this? See, this is the part of these types of interviews and podcasts and stuff they don't talk about. They just say, hey, I want to do this thing. I did it. I sold it.
That's it.
Slow down, big dog. How did you get the money?
Yeah. How did you get the bag?
Well, when I was at Enterprise, we would get people who had accidents. And a lawyer came by one day and said, hey, if you send people my way, I give you a referral fee. I said, really? How much? $300 a person.
Done.
Our location on the east side saw multiple. We were the largest location in the state of Georgia, but especially on the east side, we were the biggest ones. So we would get accident claims all the time. As soon as I say, were you at fault? They say, no. That's one.
Send it to your man early.
I would make, now Enterprise, as you know, you probably make $32,000 a year. So you probably say, how did you open a business? I probably would bring in about $10,000 a month off of that.
Wow. And Atlanta, definitely a lot of accidents.
So that's how I got my start money. See, that's the thing. You got to talk about how you get that start capital to do the thing, because the main thing that happens in our community is that we don't have the capital. Everybody has $1 billion idea, or at least 100,000, but no one has that. Not nobody, but a lot of us don't have the capital to execute, and that's how the dream dies.
Now let me ask you real quick, right? Because a lot of people, man, especially when you get out of college, were you still living at home, or while you were doing this, or did you have your own place by this time?
I was at home. I was in my parents' house.
Yeah. So I want, that's good. I wanted to know that, because I think a lot of people, man, they're so caught up, just like you were chasing the car. A lot of people get the car, then they get the crib, or, they get a high-end apartment. Now you're spending, $2,000, $3,000 a month just in your home and in your car. But see, you were smart. You were like, look, I'm gonna humble myself. I'm going to work. I'm going to do this 9 to 5 at Enterprise. Then I'm going to stack this paper on the side because I have a vision and a plan. So at this time, you had that vision. It was WeWork. It was like, look, I want to do this. And I think that's something I want to highlight too, is that a lot of people, they don't know where they want to go. And so that's ultimately why they just stay stagnant. They stay in position. I'm just going to work here at Enterprise. I'm just going to do what I got to do. So, like when you saw WeWork, you read this magazine and you was like, yo, this is what I want to do. Did you write it down? Like, how did you stay like focused on this goal?
So I would always talk to my girl. I would say, yo, I got a vision. How about when we do this? We get the chairs, we do it like this.
Word.
I even went so far, and again, I'm making $32,000 a year. I fly to New York and go to a WeWork, act like I'm trying to rent a place, knowing damn well I have no money. But I go up in there, and a dude, can I help you? Yeah, I just want to take a tour. Right. So I wanted to see how they did it, see what the conference room looked like, see what the individual offices, the bigger offices, what did it look like? And I took that information, took it back home. We opened up in downtown LA. It was called Flipwork LA. That was the name of the co-working space. Out west, there was a couple of them. It wasn't as big, so I was actually a player. Being in there long nights, I would fly back and forth. $375 cost me $375 to fly around trip. That was a lot of bread back then. Right. One second. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
What's today? 23rd?
Is it the 23rd? Yeah.
We'll get to this part in a second. Just got another booking on Airbnb.
That's what's up.
Just made $350 just sitting there talking to you. That's the game. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And we'll get to how we got there. But again, keep in mind, folks, I'm still broke trying to open up a business 1,200 miles on the other side of the country.
Right. That's what before you get deeper into that, explain to people what WeWork is, because I think, some people, they're listening and they're like, what is he talking about?
Yeah. So WeWork is essentially, hey, I want to do this entrepreneurship thing, but I want to be more professional than just being in my living space. Let me go run a desk so I can be around other people and collaborate and be in the mix. It costs you about $350 a month, or maybe you want a solo office with glass enclosure, might be $1,000 a month, right? And so we had that, but we had desks. We had conference rooms that we built out by hand. I'm talking about I'm staining the doors myself. I was actually in LA when Whitney Houston died at the Grammys. That's how long ago we are. So whatever year that was, that's what year this happened.
Word.
Right. And I was in the office painting, and I got the text message on my BlackBerry, and I sat down in the chair. That was in my mind forever. But I'm working doing that. And, you know, it's tough to build that business or start that business because you don't know where you're going to get your first client from. So I would put my location on, at the time, this is how dated it was, Google Forms. There was Open Desks, Zendesk, anything desk related. I Googled it, posted stuff on meetup.com, you know, in forums. I got banned from a couple rooms because they said I was spamming. But you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
I'll never forget how proud I was when a guy riding a bike walked in with his bike, took his helmet off and said, "Hey, is this Flipwork LA?" I said, "Yes, sir, it is." So, I want to rent a desk. I said, "Shit, it worked."
Right. I got my first one.
Time.
That was it.
We flash forward and we eventually get acquired. I make $50,000 from that one.
Nice.
Now, you may sit at home like, that was pretty good, but you can think about how much I would have made if I really knew business, if I really knew how co-working was going to take off, how much you really could have sold for. But I'm cool with what I got.
Yeah. You had to break it off with anybody else, any partners, or it was just 50 clean?
Oh, my bad. It was 100 total. Myself and a partner.
Gotcha.
50 me, 50 him. So,
right. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Did you go back and you ain't got the Infinity?
Nah, I never got the Infinity. I kept that going. I bought a Honda Accord Coupe.
There you go, bro. I love it. I love it.
Simple. Because again, what am I doing it for? Girls.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we flash forward a bit, some years, and I guess we can get into kind of, because I'm working jobs at this point. I get into tech marketing because the market's getting better. I get my first, this will help some people that are in 9-to-5s and want to figure out how to get into these big boys. So I'm working at Sherwin-Williams. I'm with y'all now at this point in the story.
Yeah.
So you know how it is. You know, you at the store, maybe on a Sunday it's just you.
Yeah.
Or
one
the
person.
Saturday it's you and an associate. So I got my MacBook right there, and I'm on the internet typing. How you doing, ma'am? You know, making a shake and paint. But I'm interviewing, and I interviewed probably a few places, but somebody sent me a link for Google. And so it's an SEO specialist position, search engine optimization specialist position. I've never done it in my life. Keep in mind, I told you guys enterprise, and I told you Sherwin-Williams. Yeah. Never done it before. But in theory, I've done marketing because I've done things for myself. So I applied for this position, and I interview and I get it. It's remote. I can do it. Cool. I'm excited. So I do that. I think it was a year contract, but that's all I needed. I needed one spark to make a fire. So now I got Google on my resume.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting calls for interviews. Now, this is the part, I don't want y'all to think of everything was just easy. I then end up working for Microsoft. Now you're probably saying, oh, look, that seems pretty easy.
Google, Microsoft, yeah, you're doing it.
I interviewed 173 times before I got that job. And the reason why I know that is, LinkedIn tracks it, so that's how I know. But the way in which I did things, I didn't know much about marketing because, again, I learned marketing in college. But from that time until 2013, 14, something like that, it had evolved into digital marketing. So now we're having more platforms, more mediums, more everything to, get marketing done. So for me, there's terminology, there's acronyms, there's vernacular that I don't necessarily know. So every time I would go to an interview, of course, I would get blown out. In the beginning, I got blown out the water. They would say certain terms to me, I would write them down. I'd come home, hop on YouTube University, and then learn what it is. And then take that and use it in some sort of example that I can quantify my results that I've done in the past with that term, and now I have a new story. So I would keep doing that. And then I remember I came for homecoming one year, and I got the call saying, I was sleeping on somebody's floor. I got the call saying I got the job for Microsoft. That's how it happened. Wow. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But it takes time to build these things.
Yeah.
And so I'm working at tech companies. I go, Microsoft, Google. Now I have Google and Microsoft. So now the world is really opening up. I end up, and this is my last corporate life piece. I work at Lyft. Now you may think to yourself, hey, he's working at these great companies. What's wrong? Well, of course, company cultures can beat you down. You do run into some things that may not be very favorable, whether that's racism, whether that's prejudice, whether that be people stifling your growth because of who you are or what they think of you. These things happen. And at Lyft, it was no different. I had a lot of situations where I was really worker-centric, which is an important ideology that I think people should know. I'm very worker-centric as opposed to customer-centric. Now, you may say to yourself, why not be more customer-focused than worker-focused? Well, you have to think, who takes care of your customers? the workers.
Right.
So if they're not happy with where they are, their jobs, their lives, their careers, they feel like their job doesn't care about them, then they'll treat your customers bad, and you'll lose customers because of that. You see what I'm saying? It's a trickle-down effect.
Mm-hmm.
So because I wanted to make sure our workforce was adequately taken care of, I bumped heads. And so I left Lyft, and I was at dinner with my girlfriend and my family. And my sisters, they're 5'10", 5'11", right? They're Amazons, as we call them. And so we were at dinner at the house, and they looked at me and they said, "So what you gonna do, Donnie?" Well, we go by middle names, my family. So they said, "What you gonna do, Donnie?" And I said, "Shit, I gotta think of something. I'll start a marketing company." This is how it happens. It's not like
just right there. Never thought about it before. Just
I left Lyft a week ago. Ain't even got the last check yet.
Right.
I said, I'm opening a marketing company. I said, okay, cool. Good job. I said, nah, I can't be a liar because I just said it out loud. That's one thing. You see those memes that say, keep your dreams to yourself because you never know who's hating.
Right.
What? I tell people what I'm working on for two reasons. One, it allows you guys to hold me accountable. So, hey, what's up with that marketing company you said you were going to do? What's up with that? And two, what it does, it allows me to make sure that I'm doing what I say I'm going to do. Like, you guys are holding me accountable, and I'm doing what I say I'm going to do. I can utilize my network, and people can help me. For instance, with the truck company, which we'll get to that too. But I would say, like, I'm opening a trucking company. Then two of my line brothers hear me say that and say, yo, we got a trucking company too. Why don't we just link up?
Let's link up. There it is.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're the marketing company. So it becomes now for people who are looking at starting a business. I got the LLC, did all the stuff that they tell you to do online, right? All the internet stuff. But how do I make money? Because again, I'm not one of these internet marketers. I don't have a blue check. I am not famous. I've worked for major companies. Skype for Business, I was instrumental in that. Lyft with the ride share, like in the you could rent cars through Lyft and do all that stuff. Wow. I was one of the first people in this market to get that started. No one knows who I am though. I've done very famous things. Doesn't matter. So now it's just me, a guy, talking about, hey, I can make your business.
Helping somebody else's dream blow up.
They don't know who you are. So I know how to leverage social media a bit. And if you go to my Instagram page, you can scroll down far enough, you'll see the first video I ever did. It was on my MacBook. It was probably like 2016 MacBook or something like that. And it's just me giving tips, right? Organically. So you have to think, people say, should I start a new page or should I just pivot my current page to something else? And that's a big question I get a lot of times. And I say, pivot your current page or integrate it in some way, simply because your current audience, they'll be your first supporters. They'll be the first ones to buy a product from you, or like a photo, or refer somebody to you, as opposed to starting at zero and hoping someone comes across your content after months of you posting. You see what I'm saying?
Or you sending an invite to them and they're like, wait a minute, don't I got you? Is it spam? Then they don't hit the confirm. So now you like, yeah.
Exactly.
You ain't got the following.
If I'm following you and I've seen how you're sharing Williams content and I find out you and your wife open a bakery, well, yeah, I know him. The Sherwin Williams guy. Yeah, I remember from college. Yeah, it's cool. Oh, you got a bakery? Where is it? Oh, it's on Peachtree. No, hey, baby, you want some cake?
Right.
And that's how it happens.
That's it.
Word. So I started doing that, making content, and just some stuff would go viral, like, a couple thousand views. Some stuff would just get no views. And I saw a post recently. I'm not even going to take credit for it. I saw a post recently that said, when you post a picture on Instagram or post some content or a video, whatever, and you may get 45 likes, you feel like you failed, right? Because you're comparing that success to someone who has thousands of
it, right?
But what if you were in a classroom, you gave that speech, that video you did, and then 45 people stood up and gave you a standing ovation? How would you feel? You'd be like, yo, I'm killing it. So then what's so different? 45 people acknowledged that they saw that and said, you know what? Good stuff.
Right.
So that mindset needs to change. And I hate talking about mindset because that's what these grifter dudes do, but it is a mindset shift. Absolutely. And I myself, even though I say that, my mindset had to shift, like, Ellaway, just post the content, man. Some stuff to do good, some stuff to do bad. Like, a lot of my videos get a couple thousand views. I posted one a couple days ago, 2 people liked it. I said, Instagram has got to be broken. There's no way.
Right. Like you hitting a refresh, like, what's going on? Wait, hold on.
Am I shadow banned? But again,
Right.
doesn't matter. Just keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started posting stuff like that. People would refer people to me. I worked on a couple campaigns, did a couple commercials with T.I. and some other people. And that was cool, you know. Got my first corporate account just by LinkedIn diving, you know, going to hiring managers and saying, listen, I see you got a position here. You're going to pay the marketing manager that you're hiring for $60,000. I'll do everything for you for 50 or 40. You know, I'm drastically undercutting my value. At the same time, I'm trying to build clientele. Yeah. Over time, I can charge for $150,000, you know, for a person for a year, but I can't act like I'm just so high value. I have to show and have some sort of portfolio of work that shows that I've done things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so let me ask you, like, so you went from job to job, you're moving around different jobs. You kind of had this mindset of like, man, I can restart, do it all over again. I'm good. When you're talking about entrepreneurship, you see a lot of people, they start something, they don't get the likes or they don't get the business and they just give up and go back. So what was it that kept you going, kept you driving? I mean, you know, there had to be something that inside of you that was just repeatedly telling you like, yo, just keep working it, trust the process, you know, just keep going at it.
I honestly believe in myself. Like I would always say, I failed a lot, you know what I mean? In a lot of things. And I always believed in myself. I always said, I can do it. I can do this. Something's going to hit. I'm going to keep trying. Something's going to hit. And if you have that mindset and that ideology, something will hit. Now, whether that hit is you make $400,000 or you make $4,000, it's all about what you think a hit is.
Yeah. And if you make $4,000 and you did that one time, that means you can do it again and repeat it again. So do the same exact, just keep working at it, and then it'll compound effect.
Absolutely. And that's what it is, you know. And so as the marketing company did well, we're in 2018, going 2019, got my first corporate account. I'm doing well. I started out maybe doing $500 a month, which is nothing, you know. Then I get my first $1,000 client. I'm like, yes, okay, it's working. Then I get my first corporate account, make $60,000. All right, I got a 60, and I get a $50,000 client. So now together I'm making 110. This is all in a year's period. But it's from me not giving up. It's from me continuously to try and reinvent myself and work on new tactics and invest in new skills. I'm mentoring people now. Those same people that I mentor, guess what happens when I get too much work? I give some of that to them. I outsource. I become a boss. You know, boss is not a title you give yourself because you're a one-person show. Manager, boss, that's something when it's an actual skill set. And once you have individuals that work for you, you have to manage them, manage the workloads, have weekly syncs with them, talk to them, coach them through what they're working through. And if they're performing, show them that you're appreciative of them performing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I started doing that. Marketing companies does well. Then we started to get to big baby Rona. Corona happened.
The Rona.
Now you may think the Rona shut me down, but it didn't. I was remote already.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go to the client for a little bit, but
digital marketing, if anything, business got even better.
Business was good. Now, I want to go back to 2017, I think, when the Falcons played. Not Falcons.
The Patriots?
Not. Okay. But when Atlanta was the host city for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Right. So Airbnb been around a couple of years. I put my house on the market because I heard, you know, people making crazy money, you know, Airbnb. So I'm like, let me put it up there. Didn't nobody bite. So in your mind, if you listening at home, I failed, you know, didn't get anybody to bite. Now, this is where I say that I'm extremely lucky. It's from having a strong support system, being sometimes lazy, and being lucky. The strong support system came because my girlfriend was like, hey, you should put your house on Airbnb. Now, this is me not being headstrong, me being open-minded to an idea. So I listened to that, put my house on Airbnb. Didn't take no professional pictures, put some crazy price up there, didn't get anything. This is me being lazy. I don't want to delete the listing because maybe I'll come back to it later. Whatever. So I put it to sleep, which is an option you can do. It says, okay, you're putting it to sleep. What day do you want to wake it up? The listing. I'm like, what's the furthest I can go? I remember vividly scrolling. Just
as far back, yeah.
As far as I can go. June 2020. And here's the luck. The Rona breaks out in March. We start to get a grasp of what's happening by June. All of a sudden, I'm laying on the couch, getting ready for one of my videos that I do. That same little notification that happened a couple minutes ago came up. I said, what is this icon? Airbnb. I remember seeing that a couple times, like I think an inquiry or something like that. Not an inquiry, a booking. $900 for a week. I jump up like, wait. Someone wants to book this house, but I'm here. Oh man, it's not ready. I started doing renovations because I would always rent out my house to my frat bros. $500 for this room, $500 for this room. My mortgage is $500, so I'm making a $500 profit. And I'm living rent free. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I was looking at things. $1,000 for me was we doing it big, but I made $1,000 for a week. I said, wait a minute now. Let me get some things together. Now, you may say this up again. Well, did you already have your house furnished out? A little bit, but I didn't have TV in my guest bedroom. You know, I didn't have certain amenities. So a homegirl of mine had Airbnb. And so I'm not too proud to do anything, right? I said, I'll clean your joints for you. How much you pay your cleanings? She said, $55. I got a 1-bedroom. I said, I'll do it. So whenever she get a booking, as soon as that person leaves, I'm in there, hands and feet. I'm not too proud. I'm not so, I would never do. I don't say that.
Right. Because you learn. I mean, you getting $55 to learn, see what she doing.
To learn. 55, TV, 55, new bed, 55. So now my stuff is ready. So now my house is getting booked. I turn that, again, that first 1,000 turns into 4,000 a month. I pay my bills. I got a little money now. But instead of going to buy a bag, going on a trip, doing all this, hey, look at me, I'm making it. I say, what if we did this again? And I go get an apartment in Buckhead. And I get another one. And I get another smaller house. And I get another one.
So you buying the properties or you renting them out?
Renting them. Because again, the way people say, I'm going to buy a house to do this. Well, okay, cool. Congratulations to you. Let's break that down a bit. I maybe put down $20,000 to buy a house. Great. I furnished the house. Let's say it's a 3-bedroom.
Another 10,000.
Easy. So now we're at 40. I get decorations. Let's say another 2. We're at $42,000 you put up. So you businessman, you know that world,
right?
PNLC. You're minus 42,000.
And right off the gate.
Now I said that I made about 4 G's a month. Now maybe let's say I make 5. Let's give it even number. I make it 5.
Take you about 10 months to make your money back, to break even.
To break even. That's if you consistently, and that's money, not even minus the bills.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to take the electric, clean all of that. Right. So it's going to be longer.
So you bring home 3. So 3 to 42, take however long it is, maybe a year to recoup that money. So instead of you thinking, I'm getting money, nah, big dog, you in the negatives.
Yeah.
As opposed to you get a 1-bedroom, I probably put like 5 up, furnish that out, make the money back 3 months. Now I'm back. I'm making profit. I probably bring in about $1,200, $1,500 a month for each property. On top of my house, $4,000. So now you see, we make it in profit. I probably gross about $14,000 a month.
Yeah.
So if you keep
and then at this point, you got to have the owners. They have to be able to agree to say, okay, yeah, I don't mind you subleasing. Correct? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people probably want to pick up on this. I know. I had my boy on there a couple episodes back, and he was talking about the Airbnb game as well. So you have to get the owner to say, yeah, I'm okay with you subleasing this apartment.
Yep, I had a whole conversation with one because I was trying to do it like on some, not tell him stuff, but he would just kind of drive by because he's a doctor.
Yeah.
But we had a conversation. He sat on one couch, I sat on another couch, and I said, check it out, big dog. You like to come by here and cut the grass? Don't worry about that no more. I paid $14,500 for this. I paid $16,500. You never talk to me again. All you do is collect your money. He said, okay. Say exactly. Because again, when I came to visit this house, it was terrible. We had some college kids. This is by Georgia Tech. You had some college kids in here. So you got to make the offer attractive.
Yeah.
You can't say, can you do it, please? I'll be nice. Nah. Your house was trash when I got it. you see this house right now? Does it look messed up? I said, no. I said, I've been doing this for 4 months without you knowing. And you can't tell nothing's wrong. Because your average person cleans their house maybe once a month. I clean this house 3 times a week. You better off leaving it in my hands and don't worry about it no more until you're ready to sell. He came with an eviction notice in his manila folder. He ripped that thing up right then. But again, I come from sales. I come from hustling. I come from all this stuff.
Right.
I know, let's just use our powers for good now. You see what I'm saying?
That's it.
So that's how that works. So I say that to say, so Airbnb, I started making money with that. But again, didn't go buy a bag, didn't go do none of that crazy stuff. I said, what else can we do? My support system looked out for me. My girl said, you getting a little bit of money, ain't you? I was talking to homeboy at dinner. He got an 18-wheeler. I said, say word, 18-wheeler. Never did that before. Let's do it. But again, I don't like to keep my dreams to myself. What I do, go on Instagram. Just started a trucking company. Trying to see what everybody's going to say. 2 of my line brothers hit me up. My 5 and my 11. Said, yo, we got a trucking company. Why don't we link up? My profile hit me and said, yo, big dog, I want to get in too.
Right.
Our house combined. We got 4 pickup trucks. I mean, 4 semi trucks now. 4.
Wow.
This all happened from the Rona to now. I've been doing this for a while, but the success. See, I first started in 2010. I started telling these stories. We in the Rona. That's 10 years. Yeah, I got the success with the co-working place, but the real success started right here.
Yeah, long-lasting success. Yeah, that's amazing, bro. Listen, man, you dropped some dimes, man, and I hope people picked it up, because honestly, man, like, his possibilities are endless, right? And I think one of the things I'm taking away from Ellaway's story is that he's fearless. He's fearless, and he's like, yo, I'm gonna start something even if I don't know much about it. But then once I say I'm gonna do it, and I say it out loud, make it a goal, make it a dream. Then I'm gonna do my research. Then I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna have the community, right? So you created the vision, you get the community, the support system, then you execute it. 3 things I love to say: dream, believe, and execute. So that's it. Yeah, that's what's up, bro. Man, you killing it. I love it, man. We need to connect, man, and get some business ventures together for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But man, listen, bro, I appreciate you, man. I know the time is getting late, and definitely appreciate you sharing and sharing your story, man. We're going to have to bring you back again, man, and break down some of these, because I want to get into the business and the marketing, but you just killing it on all levels, man. Continue doing what you're doing, bro. And any last words before we go, man? Like, if there was somebody right now that was, let's say 20, you were talking about different years, but let's just say 2016, 2017, Ellaway, like someone was in that position right now, what's the one piece of advice that you would share with them?
Never stop learning. Google things, look things up, learn how things work. Ask for help if you need it. Build a team. You can't do it alone. You cannot. You kill yourself doing it.
That's good. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Well, there you have it, folks, man. Ellaway, he's just killing it, man, as a businessman, starting a bunch of businesses. You can have his social media handle so you can follow him. He's got some amazing content. Appreciate you, man. Go make sure you share the episode with your friends and family. Peace out.
Thank you.